Up till now, we explain as breath coaches or as sport coaches, we always said, okay, try and get into the zone. But where is that?
You did so good. You make me want my relaxation score to go up. But what a fun way. But you are definitely onto something with metricing this, and I'm inspired by your 300 score. Welcome back to the Gamma Seeker broadcast. I'm here with Niels Voigt, who has found me from across the world to discuss the brain and breath connection truly with how we are all interconnected. So I'm wearing an H10 polar heart rate strap. It's underneath my shirt on my skin. I got the electrode slightly moist, as it says. And I have my I Thrive Chakra app open, and I am here as a student. What is next, Neil?
So there we go. So I'll share my screen if it's okay with you. Mm-hmm. And then I'll talk you through the app. I will actually guide you and me because I will do it at the same time, and we'll record and we'll show our progress. And the basic thing today is in the I Thrive Chakra, it shows your heart-breath connection. And if you are in a coherent state where your heart and your breath are connecting, they will show up in the same sine wave. And that will be the low frequency wave, and that will be bigger and bigger and bigger the more we get relaxed. And it will sync up with our heart rate variability. Okay. And those two will be shown on the screen. And the first time I'll just walk you through the whole setup of the app because there's no guidelines or no one is explaining that. And that's the biggest key, that if we can get that out of it and show that to the people, then they can get interested in doing the heart-breath connection, and that's the coherent state. Then from there on, the brain waves will join in as well. And then from there, and that's all measurable from the same apps. Cool. So I'll take you along, and then halfway, and we'll do a breathing session for like 3 times. And then in between the second and the third one, we'll get questions, and then we will face off each other because I think you are doing the same. And all the other breath workers are doing the same. I've shown that the biofeedback is a very interesting thing next to the subjective experience. Then you get objective information and you can see that. So that's very interesting. I'll try and connect my screen and I'll select the fencers. Here you see it, the I Thrive Chakra. And it's the same with you. And here is my heart rate recorder, and that's where it's recording. So when it's connected, you go to the recording with the Bluetooth heart rate sensor. So you select that one, and then we'll show up. In between, I'm just rechecking this is my heart rate monitor.
Okay.
And I have to recheck it again because then it will be green. And then I can go to the personalized training. Okay. And then you do the question marks because we want to record it as long as we would like. And then we say, okay. And then we wait for it 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then over here, it will show up and we'll record.
Follow it along on my app on my phone.
And there you go. And you're already recording. There we go. Now mine is connected as well. I had to wait a little bit longer. And then here, the time is already running. And in 30 seconds, 20 seconds, my heart rate variability will be visible. Is yours visible as well? Mm-hmm. There you go. Yes. And that is the low frequency wave that you see there. And this is my heart rate. Okay. And that's a number for you as well. And I'm teaching a little, so it will be a little bit higher. You see the heart rate variability in the red one. It's the lowest one is like 60 beats per minute, then 70 beats per minute, and then 100. At the bottom, you will see 3 separate possibilities of waves, because from the heart rate, the pulse heart rate, you will make 3, it's separating 3 waves. A very low frequency wave, that's the, say, purple. The blue, light blue wave, that's the LF. And it's also showing a high frequency wave. And those 3 we are going to study because they are all connected and dividing your heart rate. And if you know a little bit from the heart rate variability, we are looking only at the LF wave because this is correlating with your breath and with your breath rate. So if you take a deep breath and you sit straight up and you relax a little,
it's
then
between
you
like
will see
66
your LF
and
going down.
72. 62
And if you
and
take a
72,
little,
yeah.
there you go. And if you show it on your screen, if you then, and then I'll do an in breath, and you see my line moving up and down again as well. Just breathing out and doing it a little bit more relaxed. So you're getting this as well? This immediately is breath work. There we go. Yes, that's it. Nice. Now, this is the basic of the programs and the basic of this program. If we do it for a while, you will see the synchronicity come in because here in my, I'm breathing out and I'm breathing in, and here my heart rate variability is already moving immediately with it. This is what we call coherence from heart and breath. But to help us, this guy, Patrick Botte, the maker of these apps, has done a thing with your finger on the screen and you push it and you swipe up. And if you swipe up, then, oops, I'll do it here on the screen, of course. If you swipe up, then Pacer will come in there as well.
So I swiped up and it made some noise like a wave.
Yes.
Okay.
And that wave is your in breath, your breath hold, and your out breath. And then a breath hold again.
Okay.
Swipe down your noise again and follow the one on the screen because this is an 8.4 second in breath, a very small hold, and then an 8.6 out breath. And I'll join you and try and go into this breath. Breathe in. And if you're already full of breath, you just wait. And now you breathe out again. And sometimes it will stop and it will check for yourself if the breathing is still there. Now you breathe in again. And if you're full of breath, you stop, you wait, you relax, and you breathe out again. Now I won't talk anymore and I'll show you my screen in a minute. So breathe in, relax, wait, and breathe out. And breathe in, maybe close your eyes, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll do 2 more breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And hit the stop button. It's a recording button over there in the top here. And then immediately you will see your feedback score. And I'll talk you a little bit, the first ones, and maybe you show yours on the screen as well. And there we go. That's a trained individual doing breath work.
Okay.
Yes, nice. I'll walk you through it. So what we're now seeing is your heart rate variability at the top. Let's say this is the top. And in the LF, you see 2 waves and we'll make print screens. And on your phone, on your iPhone, there's an assistive touch button. And that's where you can adjust it. Or if you've got a
like this?
iPhone 15, you can tap the back, but make a print screen. Yes. Oh, no, that's a swipe action already. We'll be there in a second. So swipe the screen downwards or upwards. And then I'll talk you through what we're seeing. We're seeing the LF and we are seeing the very low frequency. So those 2 waves we're seeing together now. And at the end, we'll know why we are doing all these pictures because now I'm pushing the button of the LF. I'm taking that one out of the picture and I'm putting the high frequency wave into it. And you make a print screen of this again. Because this is your archive which you are building. There we go. And what do those LF peaks
I don't know.
mean?
What do they
because
mean?
You've got a couple of peaks in the middle.
Okay.
I'll tell you. But you see, mine are really smooth. You see, there are no big waves, small waves. And that's good. So we want a little bit more smaller waves than bigger waves of the high frequency. Okay. We are studying waves, so now we're going to look at the LF wave, only at the LF wave with the heart rate variability. And again, we make a picture because this is the most important picture.
So this is just the LF and the
show
HRV.
me this one.
Okay.
Yes. And you see at your thing, ooh, nice, because you have a bigger LFs already. If you do a good breath, so look at the screen, I'm breathing in, my LF goes up. And then my heart rate variability connects to it. It's doing the same thing. It's the same heart rate, of course, but these are waves taken from the heart rate. And actually, when I breathe out, it goes down again. When I breathe in again, and there we go, at the end of my recording, and you've got a couple of them as well, I am into getting the flow of a 3.5 breath a minute. and I'll get back to that. But you see it here, and it lines up with coherent heart rate variability. Yes. So this is the key. And for me, this, for example, means chaos, means I'm working, I'm trying to do stuff, I'm trying to get into the habit, but I got to relax and really breathe in, relax, breathe out. And the next session of breathing, we'll do an Om on the out breath, and we'll do it together. And then at the end, we'll find out if we can make high pitches, because of if you do it with a 2, 3, 4 people or a group, you will hear high tones. And if you are in that coherent state, stuff will happen to you, for example, and the group. But now you can, and that's what we all feel when we do breath work, but now you can show it and you make a basic information of that. Okay, because we did the LF wave, we are going to look at the other waves as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So only the HF, and then make a print screen again, because the print screens are your archive, because the I Thrive chakra doesn't make a file or a recording. If you start up again, all the information is gone.
Okay.
It's only on that moment and only the last 4 minutes from the recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you made a print screen of the high frequencies, and I'll come back to the high frequencies. And now we're going to do only the very low frequencies. This is still only to explain the app and all the information.
And the
that's
very
in
low
the app.
frequencies are the orange
And
ones.
that's visible from the app. And now at the end of this screen, we'll do all the 3 together. And that's why we do it only at the end, because now we know what it means and we look at the whole picture. Oh, you're swiping the screen. And then you see the next, what Brooke is already showing, and you'll see an overall score. And this first number that you see, minus 52, I haven't had any recording doing it this low,
62.
but it's okay. And what's your number? 62. There we go. And you are seeing next to it, you're seeing a chakra. And those chakras are correlated to the beat keys, which you will see over here. So there are all musical notes connected to the areas where your blood is flowing through your veins. And he did an amazing thing, because this is what you can see live. When we do it the second time, I'll show you that it is a screen which is recording live, and this is the overall score of the last 4 minutes of me. I'm very passionate about this, so my front heart chakra is opened up, and my will is also showing a big yellow dot.
How would you read
a little
mine
bit about the
based on this
chakras or
data?
the energy centers in the field. There you go. Your throat chakra, so you're an experienced someone who's making sounds. And you at the back of your chakra, of your heart chakra, and the back of your will chakra, the third chakra. And you also are very in the middle of your center. Instead of really the base, that will show up as like a red dot. And maybe even in the top, you will show up a purple in the next pictures or in the next session. And the peak over here, there are 3 numbers, 3.5, 5.7, 9.2. Those are breath cycles a minute. And in the next setup, so make a print screen of this, because then you have your whole archive. And now we go back to the main menu, because we're going to do a little bit more explanation. And I'll show you a little bit more of the information. So we create graphs, yes. And we go to the main menu again. We go to the HRV sensor, because we've got the chest strap on. We go to the personalized training and to the question marks again.
Yep, I'm with you.
And it will take, 20 seconds, and then the play button will come up. Did you do that?
Clicked my screen, so I'm in record mode with my iThrive right now.
That's okay. Yeah, that's good. And my heart rate variability sensor, my personalized training, the question marks, and he's trying to figure out where the sensor is, and to have my personalized training. And you see at the background that Brooke is already trying to relax and really getting her LFs all of the way. So the LF will come up, your heart rate variability comes up again, and your LF comes up again. In the corner here, you can push the button, and here you can install whatever you would like to be your rhythm of breathing, and make a print screen of your screen, or because you've got other scores now, and you've got like a 5.7 breath code. in there already, because that's the normal setup, the basic setup.
Mine was actually set for 3 seconds.
The hold, yeah, but it's a
Okay.
3-second hold as well. So what we're going to change is make it, before you do anything, make a screenshot. Then you've got that set up as well, where you can go back if you'd like that. But
Yeah.
I think you will like this one a little bit better. And that's in breath. The in breath, you are going to 8.4 seconds, just pushing the plus button. Remember, he will know every push you made. The breath out will do it a little bit longer, 8.6 seconds. And then the breath holds. Because of the introduction, I'm taking them out of it. And not that we don't do a breath hold, but just for the ease of use, I say just breathe in, hold, relax, get your alignment ready, and then breathe out. But this is only for the setup, because if you made it once, it will remember that one, the last one you put in there. And we'll do the breath together. And if you push the button in the corner again, it will go away again. And if you look at the screen where we're recording now, I'll swipe up, and this is the breath. And we only focus on the breath now for like 2, 3, 4 minutes even. And then we'll show up and see what's happening. Breathe out. And breathe in. Sit straight up. Relax. Don't do anything if you're full. Just try to get in the rhythm 3, 4 times. Breathe in. Hold, relax, and breathe out. Breathe in. Maybe even close your eyes and breathe out. Breathe in. And now on the out breath, we do an Om. O halfway and then the M. Oh. Breathe in again. Oh. Breathe in. 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 Breathe in. Oh. Last two ohms. The last one. And stop. Now, this is different. We took a little more time. I'll show you mine, and let me see yours. There we go. Very nice. And what is very nice is that it is in the rhythm where I'm only at the end. You were there immediately. And that's what I call in my screen. I call this chaos, trying everything, then relaxing. And especially if I am doing a mantra and you can do all kinds of mantras. But if you make that sound and you know what it means and you know what to relax into it, then the LF immediately will go all the way.
Yeah. So you want to expand the low frequency waves and you want to shorten the high frequency waves.
Yes.
Am I understanding right? Okay.
Yes. And you want the very low frequency in the sine wave in between. So I'll talk a little bit more about those waves because the LF, the bandwidth, what I call the bandwidth of the LF, here the bandwidth like this, is where in between the very low frequency should stay. Yeah. If you can get it like this, then you know that you will know with other apps, same builder, that you are in flow. You are in a coherent state, and that is feeling like if you relax into it, it feels like flow, like hitting the ball on the sweet spot. And if you do the same thing with the high frequency, and you keep the high frequency in between the very low frequency, there we go. Yes. Then you know that you are in an unconscious flow as well. So we cannot do anything about this consciously, but if we are in the rhythm, we know that rhythm, and then you see that you are getting into a flow, into a regeneration state where you are consciously doing it because of the breath now. But if you can get the high frequency like this in between the very low frequencies bandwidth, then you know that you're also in an unconscious flow. And that will correlate with the brain waves.
Is this data coming from Dan Winter's work or Peter Button's work or combo or okay?
Yes, no, yeah. They worked together in 2016 to develop these apps. And Dan is already with hard math like 35 years ago. He started the first recording device. And this is where Patrick Botte and Dan Winter combined their information. And Patrick is the software developer and Dan is the science guy. Let's call it like that. Make print screens because we go to all the ways on their own again. And this is, for me, this is the most important screen with biofeedback. Because up till now, we explain as breath coaches or as sport coaches, we always said, okay, try and get into the zone. But where is that? And always someone had an internal feeling, but now you can see and show. So I think that's very incredible.
Whoa. So I had a very different reading on my chart here. The last number was 62, and this one's showing 159.
I know. There you go. So you're jumping ahead a little, but that's okay.
One. My bad. I screenshotted each of the frequencies. I'm ready. I'm sorry. We'll go back.
Okay, then it's okay. No, it's okay. But can you show me this one as well? So the LF, because these are, for me, these are the pictures, the print screens, the screen shots, which are starters for people who can join in a group. Because then you can start and you know that they are doing their homework and that they can feel at least and flow into these rhythms. this is why your screen was feeling really nice, because it was already the whole time, all the last 4 minutes there. Yeah. And that's why I'm taking my screen always as a startup. If you can make these switches from chaos into coherence, then you'll be there. Yeah. So you already made the print screens of the other single frames.
Yes, I did.
Yes, there you go. And then the last one is always with all of them into the picture.
Someone like
now
me,
you
when I
know-
look at this graph, so we're looking for steadiness in the high frequencies. We're looking for even but wide low frequency ranges. And then we're looking for those very low frequency ranges to do what? What is it?
Yeah, to stay in between.
Okay. So there's no spikes of them in a way.
Yes, but there should be a little bit bigger sine wave than the HF. Yes. And if you are physically moving, then it will show up like a bigger wave in a very low frequency. Yes, all the meditators say you should sit still. But why are you sitting still? Because of these waves. But you should move a little. And that's not anything that they explain, but because of the alignment of your spine, there's always a little movement, especially if you breathe really down or you breathe really at the back and you play around with those breaths, that will show up. And those are the small waves in the very low frequency, for example.
So then flow state is these frequencies lining up with the proper amplitude in a way, like not proper, but they're in rhythm. They're working together. Okay, I think I'm following everything.
Yes. And that's why we are looking at these screens, and that's why we make 5 pictures. The conscious flow, that's the first picture. The unconscious flow, that's the second picture. And then we do the individual waves, and then we do the whole waves. And now, just before you swipe the screen, you are trying to learn what this all means. And then, if you get a feeling out of that, then you can say something. If you do the 4-minute like you did, 4-minute at the same bandwidth, then you can say something and figure out what your relaxation score will be. So then before you swipe the screen, you say a number. I say like 125. And oops, I got 185. And what is the difference? And what's the feeling around it? And that's where you'll get more and more the feeling of why all those waves are working together.
So is a high number
for example,
from this chart, is that what we're desiring?
Yes, because for me, it's a number of a relaxation state. So if you watch TV and you're sitting really doing nothing, then it's like 25 or 15. But if you do a breathing session and you're really focusing on your consciousness and maybe on your fascia or whatever, where you want to go, then you will see that it will go up to 250, maybe even 300. And even 350. And sometimes even people get into the 400s. So, and that's what we call like you're in team 150 or you're in team 200. And those people will have similar questions. Where do I go now? Or what is this trying to do now? In the different day times is also interesting. Sometimes in the morning, you will go really be relaxed easier, or after a shower, or after sports. And of course, we can do these training sessions as well during the sport as a warm up or as a cool down, or even if we're laying in bed. For me, practicing sitting down on a chair was the easiest because I was a PE teacher, but I was a field hockey trainer coach, before that a player. And then my sitting on a chair was for me the easiest position to breathe in, as an example. I'll talk you a little bit through here now. You see with me, you see a little bit more dots lining up. If you look at the beat keys, the musical keynotes, you see that more peaks are in there. And still my front heart is there. Still my will is very much there. But also my lowest chakra, my first chakra, is there. Only the first and the last one, there's a very small peak in my crown chakra. Those are the 2 dots, and the other ones are only going bigger dots or smaller dots, depending on or if you can go there. And that's really an intentional thing as well. So you can play with that.
How is the app measuring the chakras?
Yeah, good question. Patrick has done his research, and there are a couple of guys who did research this in Belgium and in France, and they did a lot of measurements and all kinds of different measurements, and they could relate the flow of your blood around those areas where these chakras are lining up. And so what it's measuring, it's measuring the blood flow. So not only the heartbeat, but it's measuring, because you divide it in all those three waves, and you can make them combine each other, and then you can locate it in your in your physical body. So it's not actually showing up the chakras, but it's where the field is generated more. That's what it senses.
Okay. The heart rate monitor, that's picking up 4 different kinds of frequencies. Like it's picking up heart rate, low frequencies, high frequencies.
The H10 can work on 2 different devices parallel at the same time. So that's interesting information. Also as a coach or a trainee. And then you can see more data, for example. And what it is, it's measuring the heart rate at like an ECG quality, at like a hospital quality. And that's where you can then derive all this information.
I'm curious, is it measuring like the different, because there's different areas or atriums like within the heart. Is it tuned in to like all of the 4 different spaces of the heart and then measuring those differently? I don't know much about heart rate, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So it's measuring how all 4 aspects of the heart are working in concert together.
But if you look at a heart rate monitor from the hospital, for example, if you do a really hard measurement, you see a peak, and then you see the R peak, and then you see dropping down, and then you have the QRS symptom, and the whole scene is in that beat, in that heartbeat, and that's where he derives the heart rate variability from. So it's measuring every second, and in the second it's also measuring smaller details from that. And because of the whole waves that it is organizing, that's where he can make the combinations of all those waves, and that's where you can really pinpoint what it is and where it is and how
Niels,
fast
you've
it
been
goes.
taking you're a breathwork teacher that's been working out of this amazing cathedral. And you've been taking people, and do you strap them up with this technology and then walk them through a meditation so that they can watch their progress?
Yes. So, yes, I'm working at the Metaalkathedraal in Utrecht. It's near here, near my place. I live in Breukelen. And what we have there is like all kinds of experimental frequency machines. And one of the machines is a Therify. That's a special machine where you can lay in between a plasma field. Before we go in there, I'm strapping my clients on, and they know that immediately already. And I'll do the breathing session that we did now, because I'd like them to be in a coherent state before they go and do the energy work. And we've got a couple of machines in the Metaalkathedraal, and that's where I do the measurements also during the energy work with more and more people. I'm doing it before in the machine. We've got 3-4 machines now, and after the machine. And I'm looking for regeneration phases like we did now, like the flow moments, like in the deep sleep, because that's where Patrick started with the I Thrive. And that's the longer version of this app, where you can record up till 8.5 hours, because he started at a deep sleep analyzing basic. And from those 8.5 hours, you can go back to 2 hours and 9 minutes in the I Thrive section. That's a different app, the second app that he made. And then you can see every 2 hours and 9 minutes, every minute, what you did. And you get feedback a little bit like this, but it's a little bit more extensive.
Niels, what kind of clients do you work with? Like, what kind of people are seeking this information out with you? Are they trying to heal? Are they trying to meditate deeper? Talk us through that a little bit.
Yes, the most of the people are curious, and almost everyone is searching for a coherent state. and they know a little bit about flow, but they've seen it like information. But now they can see it themselves and do it themselves and look at themselves, not only subjective, like, oh, that felt nice, but checking it if it's objective as well. Is my LF actually moving in sync with my heart rate
So in a
variability?
sense, this is a great way for breathwork teachers to double check how their sequences are affecting themselves.
Yes. And what I think it's making also the teacher more sensitive to really connect to that individual person. Because what is good for the one is not good for the other. But if you do a breath session with a lot of people and you go into the same breath, for everyone it's a little bit different, but everyone can check where they are for themselves. And for example, I know in experience that if you do it with more than 3, 4, 5 people, and you are doing the ohm, and you are all in this LF wave, and you are there, then high tones will resonate, and more synchronicities will come up. So you are actually getting magnetical. That's how I call it now, because stuff will come to you instead of doing the hard work to get it. And that's where more and more people come and do these sessions, because they are getting stressed, or they are getting in a regeneration mode. Where do I recharge my own batteries, and how do I do that? And this is giving direct feedback. You're there. And for example, if you look at the screen, at my screen, this is the 3.5 peak of a breath. Yeah. And not only because of me, but here you see a peak at 7 hertz. That's 2 times 3.5. Here you see another peak at like 10.5. That's 3 times.
I don't know where you're looking,
3.5.
if I'm honest.
I'm looking here. You see
Yeah.
this on the screen? You see here
At
a peak?
3.5?
That's a 3.5 breath a minute. That's why we set the sensor there. And that's where we are making, literally, we are making an energy field. And there is a resonating peak, and we are not breathing at 7 hertz a minute, but at 7, there's an extra peak. And then at 10.5 also. And that's literally the energetic field that you are making. But now you can see it with data as well.
I feel like these charts you got to get used to looking at a little bit. Like, I'm a data nerd, so
yeah, sure. And you got to get trained in it as well. But sometimes this shows up, and then you can see it. When I'm doing it with 2 or 3 people, it will show more peaks. So sometimes even the 4th peak will show up.
So it's deriving a relaxation score based on breath rate and heart rate. And then this is measuring it by the cycle. So if I were to change the breath programming and I wanted to breathe at 1 breath a minute, would these cycles show something very different, like where it's benchmarking it? Or
yes, and my thing was 3.5, because that's into the golden mean ratio.
I love that. I teach 4 breaths a minute, but 3.5 is even better. So I like where your head's at.
Yes. So if you go, that's like a node in an implosive field. That's where Dan Winter comes in, and he goes crazy about it. And it's hard to follow. So I'll talk slower and slower, because if you look at Dan's information, you will go crazy in 3 minutes. And he's got his own language as well. But still, if you go back from what the golden mean ratio is, it makes a dot. So it makes an implosive field. There are special points in that, let's say, tornado. And one of the nicest points is 3.5. And that is why I'm started to breathe at 3.5. And people can switch. But in the golden mean ratio, really something else is happening. And that's around you and inside of you. So those 2 things are really interesting, I think. I tried, and I've trained with it, to get lower breath peaks, like here. So if you do a 2.1 breath, or you do a 2 breath a minute, it's very slow, but your very low frequency peak will go in there. Because your LF is only starting at 2.2 hertz. So 2.2 breath cycles, let's say it like that. And that's where the Flame in Mind software comes in. because if you do the Flame and Mind software, for me, the correlation with your breath, your heart rate, and your brain waves are then in sync. And that will show up like this, real biofeedback, immediately visible. And that is really interesting because then you feel, for example, the difference between a 4.5 breath and a 3.5 breath. And if you go really slow with like a 1 minute breath, the very low frequency will be the big wave making that visible, for example. And for the, let's say, the general population, 5 is what I do as the lowest, but like 6.7.5, that's the fastest breath. So I'm always in between those slower breaths. Yeah, and if people come in, sometimes the breath rate is a lot higher, but still that's okay.
Can you walk us through a little bit about what these beats and harmonics mean on the outside of it?
Yes, the basic thing is that the musical keys, which you've got on the piano, for example, they are correlated and they are actually having here the same colors. So you see I'm not that much a musical guy. I get the musical feeling, but I cannot play that well. But you see the G, and that's the same purple as the heart chakra in front. Yes. And you see the D, that's the heart at the back, the green one. So the colors are correlating here. And here are the beat keys, the ones that you push on the piano. And here is the harmonics. So it's like the beats and the harmonics where it is syncing or where it's going from the other one to the other one. Where is it making a harmonized sound? Let's call it a sound, but it's actually a frequency.
So if I had very low levels on some of my beat keys, would it be good if I sang like an om or an ah with those notes in order to activate it? So are we looking for stability, like balanced stability across all of those beats and harmonics? Okay.
Yes. And how does it look like? It looks like here, a flat beat key. So all of the waves should be a little bit higher.
Mine don't look. Mine are. Some of them are not existent.
Yes, and one of the things is that if you do the vagus nerve, if you can open that one up in your neck, for example, and you're stretched at the back, and you know where all those places are, then you can massage or put focus there. And that's what we're going to train when we do the next breathing session, because that will be a little bit longer. Then you sit on the edge of your seat. And then the first one, my heart chakra now here, the front one, the purple one, didn't open up the first half year that I did these exercises. So I couldn't get it opening up, or couldn't get it that it went bigger and bigger. So now, for example, my front area and my crown chakra are not really lighting up. But you will see if we do the mantra and you do the internal visualization and maybe even tap on the spot, that it will show up. And of course, if you open up your eyes, then it's a little bit more swirling again. But still, this is the basic. And now when you are training your breathing sessions and when you're doing the breathing sessions, you can try and do, like, there are all kinds of different yogi traditions, but you can do a small cosmic orbit around your physical area and you can make it bigger. And that's what will show up in these screens. And especially that's why I swipe the screen during the breathing session, because then you can actually already look at where it's moving.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So before we do the setup, I'll walk you through that, because those visualizations for me were really a big trigger. And wow, I can really open up every spot of mine. And okay, my average is maybe this, but where I'm looking at is to go all over the place. So make a balanced
You're metricing
situation.
your consciousness.
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's do another one. Let's go through that. I'm ready.
There we go.
And just so you viewers know, I did buy a Muse headband to go with this. And I feel like Niels, this is like a good warm up. Perhaps in a month, after I've played with the Muse for a bit, we can do it. and I can throw my screen up here.
Yes.
So I really see how you're metricing my exact brain and breath connection. And I think this is a good starting point for people. So you get the H10, you download the iThrive, and we start to drop the breath rate. This is just an incredible compliment to the Mighty Breath. I'm not too keen on having a Bluetooth wearable on my body, but when we're looking at it as data, it's just kind of fun to collect the data,
Yes, and to see the visuals during the recording. And I'm not a fan of Bluetooth at all, but the thing that it's giving me is more than it's taking away from me.
Yeah.
But actually, I've done it too much, and I'm now not in a good place because of the Bluetooth. And I'm finally today, actually, I'm having someone who has measured my acupuncture points, and it's actually showing up. You shouldn't use that one, and if you use it too much, it's no good for you.
I could see it in like small doses, like 8 minutes a day or 12 minutes a day as a clock in, as you're training new things with the body being a benefit. But I couldn't imagine sleeping with it on and tracking whole 8 hours. You know what I mean?
No, but the other one, I was that curious about where is my flow during the day. And being a sport person and teaching people and athletes, and you are always trying to get there. And if you can show it, not only a subjective feeling, but objectively, then it's interesting. So that's why I encourage people to play with it, but not doing it the whole day. And you will get more and more sensitive when you are doing this breath work and all this energy stuff. Then you will get more and more getting a good feeling, or maybe even be able to block it. And that's where my next thing is, okay, I don't want to have that in my system. Can I block that? And can I make a shield for that? And I think we are going there, I think. But the physical thing to show up your LF connecting to your heart rate variability, that for me was the biggest key, where I thought, finally, now I can show and I can take people where they can see it as well.
Okay, let's do it. I got myself set up.
Yes, so relax. And what I'm doing is, my daily habit is doing my brain waves, doing my I Thrive. That's a long recording where I can make visible my flow moments. And I'm doing the I Thrive chakra because of the brain waves connecting to those other coherent fields are showing up alpha, theta, beta, and low and high gamma. And that's what he's making visible in his Flame and Mind software app. And you can use the other apps as well if they do it in direct feedback, like the Mind Monitor as well. But what I thought was really nice, that Patrick made all of the apps, he combined it in like a laboratorium app. Yes, it's €200, so it's a lot of money. But that was the first one where your brainwaves are in a coherent state with your heart rate variability, and it's showable. So it's visible on the screen. And that was worth for me. I'll take you to the screen again. Go to the main menu, sit straight up, your heart rate variability. Always do the personalized training, and then we do the question marks, because sometimes I let it go for 2 hours and I only do the last 4 minutes. Then most of the times I swipe the screen immediately to go into the chakras. And yes, I like this one already, but I like the side view even more. So this is the first 20, 30 seconds. I'm taking this time. Then I know, okay, I'm now here. This is my average. And here is the actually on this moment. And that's why I do the not only dots, but I do the lines, because then I see where I'm moving as well. So I see actually the moving energy, blood flow in my system. And I think it's really interesting. But still, after half a minute, I go back to the LF and I go and focus on this breath rate. And now we'll just have a couple of minutes and really go into it. Breathe in is this, and breathe out. First 2 minutes, I just go into a rhythm and breathe in. I get myself really aligned and breathe out. Just keep the rhythm. Sometimes it will freeze up, but then there the breath will come in again. It always goes on. Breathe in. Hold and breathe out. In 2 breaths, we're going to do the ohms. Hold, relax. Hold, relax, breathe in. Just keep in the rhythm. Hold, relax, and there we go.
So I'm really enjoying how the data seems to become very coherent as soon as we apply sound. It makes me really want to get the Flaming Mind app, because to see how all the data would stack, Neil, it's quite a persuasive argument for why people should be toning when they're meditating.
Yes. And it's so visible. And yes, you can experience it immediately, especially if someone's got a very nice voice. It's incredible. And even if you just make a sound and you're not that kind of a big singer, it's very visible and experienceable what is happening if you make And if you make a sound, and okay, sure, if you do the Om, it's a good start. And if you have other mantras, it will even go more into it where you are and where you want to be. And that's made visible as well.
If somebody doesn't want to do ohms, I highly suggest any other vowel. Vowel sounds in the cymatic data are very expansive, particularly ah, o. E is a little bit more constrictive, e and eh.
Yep.
But you can pick any vowel. So Allah works good. So if anybody has like a resistance to ohm, no worries, just pick another vowel.
No worries. Yes.
This is very fascinating data. I am just thrilled to see how it almost seemed like you were in I's heart rate too. I had my eyes open. And as we were doing that second batch, your heart rate and my heart rate were significantly closer together than during the first two times.
Yes.
And
yes.
What wonderful data, Niels. So if somebody is in Europe and they wanted to come and work with you, how could they reach back out and find you and come and get a session on your Wednesday nights?
Yes. During the day, on Wednesdays, I'm at the Metaalkathedraal. That's here in Utrecht. I've made a link in the survey, so you can put it in there. That's during the day from 10:30 up until 5 o'clock is the last round. And that's where I combine breath work with energy work. And that's like €70 for an hour. And most of the people are doing 2 hours because one is breath work and then you lay into a machine or you're being in between a machine. And then at the end, we'll do the breath work again. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm in Amsterdam and I'm trying to set up more and more individual sessions. Those can be live or can be online as well, like we did now. And I'm already teaching people and it's combined now up until 3 levels from 3 lessons. So first is I Thrive Chakra, and we'll do that 3 times 1 hour or 1.5 hours most of the times. And then we do the I Thrive, that's your flow energy, always combined with the first step. And then at the end, we do 3 lessons with the Flame and Mind software because it's a hassle a little bit to get working with it. But if you can get working with it, it's very interesting to use it, even professionally to use it.
Yeah, so let's just make a note. You had me buy the Muse headset, and there was 2 that you recommended: the Muse S model, and then what was the other one? The Athletica one.
Yeah, this is the Muse 2.
Okay.
And that's where you can see it, and you see it in between because over here are points where you can those are connecting to your forehead. And this is the Muse S.
Okay.
And don't use the Muse Athena. That's the newest one of Muse. But those 2 are the first ones. And they are very good working with the Flame in Mind software.
Okay.
And that's the 3rd app from Patrick where he's combined all his information in one app. And for me, it was enough that it's only showing your brainwaves connected to your breath and your heart rate variability. That was incredible for me.
So the data nerds that are at home that have these sitting in their closet because they don't really know how to make it work for them, book yourself a session with Niels. I love the fact that you're offering online because our audience is all over the world. And my business partner Daniel, he was like, "Oh, I'll just send you mine. I have one of the Muse S's in the closet and I don't really know." He's like, "I got it thinking it would help my meditation, and then I find myself kind of avoiding the data." So what you're offering here, Niels, is this like walkthrough of how to metric yourself and then how to amplify your meditation. And then if I go to you in person, which I'm really hoping in January when I'm over in Bavaria, I can make the trip because I would love to sit on your machine. I would love to be in the cathedral with you and do some toning because I think that what you're offering here is a scientific overlay of literally everything that I'm teaching my clients.
Yes.
So,
yes, I thought so.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we have met. I'm so excited to continue to work with it. Thank you for giving me the level 1. I think that we should definitely try to do another one of these with the Muse. That way I can learn how to collect the data, and you can kind of walk us through how we would measure a flow state with the brain waves attached. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time, your energy, your expertise, putting together the high level of what Dan Winter and Patrick have announced. You're making it very applicable. So I commend you as an educator for dumbing it down and making it a little bit more approachable. I really needed the walkthrough of the app. I was kind of embarrassed that I didn't quite, be able to produce my own reports without you. So thank you so much.
Yeah. No, there are a lot of people who are just getting stuck, and they've got their Muse headset, and some people didn't even get one heart rate monitor, because if you combine those two, it's incredible. And just to wrap up, for me, the swiping at the end,
Yes.
to be on the screen and then look at your own data and see your own relaxation score, even doing it online with someone else the other way of the globe. There we go. It's like 316, 18. Thank you.
You did so good. You make me want my relaxation score to go up. So I was trying to pay attention to my chakras, pumping my pelvic floor a little bit more consciously, trying to feel the breath a little deeper in the body. I did a little bit better. So what a fun way. But you are definitely onto something with metricing this, and I'm inspired by your 300 score.
There you go. So and it's not only about the scoring. It's about the level of doing it daily or making a habit out of it, combining with what you already have as a habit, and then not doing long recordings, but just taking moments and go in there and see and feel, and that's interesting.
Wow.
So I would love to have people join for individual sessions, but I also would really like to be with what I'm doing now is being a guest teacher with people who are doing breath work already, because I think this is a very nice add-on where you've got people, you've got classes, and where I will be as a guest teacher, and then people will get to know this. And it's, I think, through breath work or meditation, people who are interested in this data-driven thing and who've got their phone. And 5 years ago, it was pretty hard, but now I think we're ready for this.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Well, you guys, please follow along with Niels to learn more. Please reach out if this interests you. I imagine, Niels, that you are going to have quite a few people reaching out to you about this, because meditation is hard to metric. And this makes the HeartMath Institute's data very personalized for people. So I wish you the best success in teaching people coherence in such a data-driven way. I really can't wait to sit on your plasma machine. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the audience before we call this good?
No, just experience it and combine it with the habits you already have. So then it's an add-on, and that's, I think, the best thing to do.
Beautiful.